Hey guys, Grüße aus Deutschland, greetings from Germany. I didn't do a whole bunch of reactions on Chantal's latest videos because she just disgusts me with her eating and her inconsistencies, and it's just too much when you do Amber and her at the same time. I mean, you can't take either one of them seriously anymore. But you know, it's also a matter of how do you spend your free time when you only have limited free time. Like these two just sit on their asses, eat all day, but some of us have jobs and so and other obligations, and so free time is limited. But a handful of you wanted to know what I think of the latest developments. And so I figured what I would do is take a look at this past week, the videos that you see on the screen right now, but I'm not going to react to each one of them, and I only picked out the highlights, and I'm going to react to them now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this screen here with the latest videos, and I'm going to put a green frame around the one that is coming up, and then I'll say a few things about it. I'm going from old to new, and so that one she posted on November the 30th, and it's titled I'm Really Not Doing Too Well.
Today is the 30th of November. I'm not going to show myself fully because I'm not fully dressed. Here we go.
Okay. 163 is what it said, and 165 was the last way in at the doctor's. Okay. Her blood sugar is still above 200. That is alarming.
Honestly, not feeling the best right now.
I bet.
And I was up pretty early. And I just bought rose water from the store you saw in my grocery haul. Now,
oh, she was talking about her skin condition, having a dry patch of skin next to her mouth.
Speaking of sleep, I've been not really good with that. That's something I still struggle with.
Because you and Amber both sleep during the day. You will never get your sleep rhythm under control if you sleep so much during the day.
A bit of insomnia.
That is not insomnia, but hey, let's move on to the next one. New arc incoming and not the one you are expecting. I expect for her to croak soon. I mean, maybe she can prevent it from happening. I doubt it. Same goes for Amber.
We're about to go to a seminar.
Yeah, the MLM seminar, the Unicity or Unicity, whatever, MLM.
I just want to become obsessed with just taking care of myself.
It's always from one extreme to the next, and you never take any action steps, just like Amber doesn't. You guys just keep flip-flopping back and forth between self-destruction and lying about pursuing the perfect life when it comes to nutrition, diet, exercise, and all of that. Nothing ever happens. Both of them keep gaining weight and look increasingly exhausted.
But things like, marriage certificate, that's like really private for the both of us.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I would never show any of my private documents on the internet, but here's the problem with that, Chantal. Nobody asked you back then when you were completely off your rockers, when you were completely out of control with collecting STDs. With sleeping with every Middle Eastern man in the vicinity and overdoing the drug use. I don't know if it was abuse, but the drug use, alcohol, whatever it is you did there to self-destruct. Nobody asked you to say that you're going to get married to a man right away. You could have just said, I have a Syrian man that I'm talking to. I'm gonna go to Kuwait and see how that turns out. And guys, I can't even be bothered to check into the laws in Kuwait. I don't know if she could have just moved in with him without being married. I think I heard somewhere that you couldn't do that. But then why not meet him in a different country, like the Syrian from Kuwait moving to, let's say, Germany for a while and them meeting and seeing if they have chemistry, which they totally didn't. But nobody asked for her to lie to her audience about that. She just wanted to stick it to her audience, and so she got caught in a lie that kept following her around until she got so frustrated with her audience that she kept addressing the haters, and that is her fault, nobody else's. Nobody told her to open her big trap about if she's married or not, or but she wanted to stick it to the haters, and then she got stuck with the lie.
Involves two people. And you know what? Like, we don't owe that to anybody. Like, who
No, you don't owe it to anybody, and you didn't owe it to anybody, or it was completely inappropriate to share this much personal information when you decided to desert your life in Canada and move to Kuwait.
are these people demanding to see this? Otherwise, it's just for us. We don't really care.
Yeah, but you brought it up. Like you put that on the internet, and you could have just shut up, but you didn't. And then when people wanted to see proof, you acted like it's unbelievable that they're asking me for proof. Well, keep your mouth shut then. Keep your mouth shut. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Same goes for Amber. Always trying to, oh, I'm living the perfect life, and I'm in my single era, so I can drink as much as I want. You guys go ahead and self-destruct. Nobody cares anymore, but stop with the lying and pretending, because the only people you are really hurting are yourselves, because you get increasingly unhappy, the both of you, because us humans here on this dirt ball floating in space have something that is called a conscience, something that Amber and Chantal both choose to ignore often. And so when the conscience bubbles up and makes them feel bad, then they're sitting in front of us saying how bad they feel. And I'm not impressed. I'm not touched at all.
I'm at that point now in like life where I'm just like, if you want to think I'm 800 pounds, go for it.
I'm glad she finally made it to the point, and this is something I frequently say about Amber. I do not care specifically how much they weigh. What I care about is them thinking that the audience is so dumb that we cannot see that while they're saying that they're losing weight, they're actually gaining. Because we have eyes, they can turn on their slimming filters all they want. Sometimes they glitch. The the detectives in the community point that out in a hurry, and we got the clips available. So they can use slimming filters all they want, but overall they're gaining. And so they need to be held accountable somehow. But I don't care. They could both of them weigh 800 pounds. I don't care if they can still outrun me weighing this much. I would be impressed. But since all they ever do is just sit around and stuff their faces and breathe heavily while just sitting there. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I personally believe that YouTube should not condone this and support it by having that or allowing for that behavior to be their income and their only income, which makes it even more problematic. Because now they're thinking the more they eat and the more they lie, the more money they make. It's flawed in their heads that they think that way, and that's why we can't shake them. They keep popping up with more vlogs and more vlogs. I mean, apparently Chantal is not posting right now. She hasn't posted in 2 days, I believe. And so maybe she's on her way to Canada, who knows. But even Amber can't stop popping up because they need the dough. Oh, so this is the next one. I'm going to Canada.
I talked to Salah and I made the decision that it's sadly probably better for me to go back to Canada.
I think so too. It's the best because you need to self-reflect. You need to get to a point sooner or later where you realize you have driven your life against the wall. The lies did not stick. and you only lied to yourself, and you brought up your audience against you or made them take off on you. And I think it's a good idea for you to go back to Canada.
For a while, to seek some much needed medical care. And part of that is I want to talk to a doctor about possible weight loss surgery.
Let's listen really quick to what she had to say about that in her Cuba rage.
Weight loss surgery is fucking bullshit. If you get weight loss surgery, you fucking hate yourself. Weight loss surgery is not natural. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. You're going to cut your stomach so you can stop eating? You need to eat, bitch. You need to eat carbs. That's your fucking problem. You need carbs. You're a fucking bitch. You need carbs. You're a bitch. You need carbs. I'm fucking tired of fucking weight loss surgery. It's a fucking abomination to humanity. Actually, it fucking kills people. It causes people to have nutritional deficiencies. It's not natural. You need to fucking just eat natural for a fucking month and you will feel better.
So she's completely against weight loss surgery. Of course, all of us can change our minds about certain things. I'm not going to hold her to what she said there in Cuba about weight loss surgery. But where I would strongly advise her against it is because it takes her and Amber, both of them, to be honest, which they're incapable of doing. So first of all, they would have to learn how to be honest to themselves and to the person across from them. They would have to learn that at the same time, while they're in therapy, or while they're working on their mental health, they should not be on YouTube because they lie in order to get views. You know, they troll, they lie, they manipulate, they exploit their problems, they monetize their food addictions, and none of that should be going on while they're working on their mental health. And so it takes a lot of therapy for them to figure out a different way to deal with life than to just stuff their face all day long. And for people that have been without a job, both of them, Amber and Chantal, for in Chantal's case for 7 years now, and in Amber's case, no job for 10 years. They have learned how to just use YouTube for their own advantage, and that would have to stop in order for them to have a shot at being approved for weight loss surgery. I mean, any doctor that would approve them, like when they go into a clinic and they say, so what do you do for a living? They would have to say, I'm a bullshitter on YouTube or a content creator. And then most likely some of the clinic staff would check them out. And it would become very apparent very fast, especially to intelligent people that work in the healthcare profession, that there's absolutely no chance neither Amber nor Chantal are mentally, emotionally, and physically equipped to have weight loss surgery. But let's move on.
And psychiatric help.
Yeah, that's they should both be in inpatient care, supervised care, also not have any access to food except for what is being served to them, and that would fix a lot of their problems fast.
You know, proper diagnosis, all that, proper medication.
Like they both are very dependable when it comes to taking the medication that has been prescribed to them. It's not like they just stop taking them because they feel better or
To get my diabetes under control as well.
All right, here it is.
She looks like shit. She looks like she's been crying for days. I don't care what she does here with the cottage cheese and the mustard. Have neither Amber nor Chantal ever Googled the definition of mustard? They should stay away from that stuff, but hey. But yeah, Chantal here looks like she's 49 years old, if not older, because she's been crying so much.
Cottage cheese, low fat with mustard.
Hello, beautiful girl.
Beautiful is in the eye of the beholder. I think this is the last time we saw Salah. My take on the whole thing, like overall, is that what happened to Amber just happened to Chantal, and that is Salah probably figured in the beginning that she's going to change her life around, and once she makes it to a different country, and she's so in love, you guys, and he loves her so much that that love is going to carry her through a hardcore diet, but all she ever did was gain weight. And so Salah finally said, okay, so wait a minute, let's review. So she doesn't make a whole lot of money on YouTube. She eats like a pig, which is disgusting to me, because I think a Muslim woman should be more gracious, and not eat like an animal. And additional to that, she kept gaining weight, got more immobile. And I don't know if I was a Syrian man that looks like that. And again, I find Salah attractive. I mean, easy on the eyes. And he's, what, 25 years old or in the 20s? Why should he have an elephant sitting in his living room on the floor, just stuffing her face all day long and sleeping? That is, I don't know. I mean, under different circumstances, I would say, hey, love is blind, and maybe he does love what she has to offer. Maybe she gives a good BJ, who knows? But I'm personally convinced that he is done with her, and that's why she's been crying. And so, yeah, she's getting ready to close that chapter in her life, the Kuwait chapter. I have a feeling she's not coming back. I'm not sure why. I might be completely wrong, but we'll see what happens, right?
What you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Oh, hope you feel well, baby. 167.
I'm gonna try not to cry, but I'm in a really weird mood. I'm so depressed. Like,
Maybe you should have stayed on some medication that they prescribed, or get some prescribed.
coming back from the doctor, first of all, being out in the day like this in the sunlight makes me worse depressed. I hate it.
I get it. I feel like that a lot of times, but I don't have the choice. I still have to go out and work.
I like the night. I just feel so apathetic. I don't care about anything right now. Like, I don't care about anything.
That is a very bad statement to make. I mean, if she really feels that way, that of course is bad. That she doesn't care about anything. It's basically like what I recently said about Amber. I think both of them have given up on life. They have food addiction to a degree where they can't function without any unhealthy foods, and their bodies continue to increase in size, and their physical ailments get worse, and of course their mental ailments. And not caring about anything, of course, is alarming.
It's like the only thing in my life that I feel that makes me happy is food.
That is another sad statement to make, because for over a year now she's been trying to make us believe that Salah makes her so happy, they're so in love. And so if that was actually the case, again, that love would have carried her through, missing, eating a lot of food. Like, she doesn't have to give up fast food altogether or unhealthy food, but she needs to do portion control, and she needs to move a lot more. And not even Salah managed to get her to do that, even though he did. I mean, the vlogs are proof that she moved more than she probably did in Canada. But yeah, look at Amber. She seems to be moving and leaving the house more now than she did in Kentucky, and yet she gains weight like there's no tomorrow. It seems like these two keep making up for the calories they burn by moving around, by eating more and more.
And I know that to get better and live a longer life, I have to change drastically.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like you want to change. You just said it, all you care about is food. And so if food is your only reason to live, you might as well just come to terms with the fact that your existence on this planet might not last too much longer.
And dealing with the emotions that I have because of that is so uncomfortable that I just don't feel like I can. Sometimes I don't feel like I can do it or that I want to do it.
Yeah, but that's everyday life for a lot of us out here. Like I, for example, suffer from food addiction too. Only I didn't let it get as far as these two did. And it's a daily struggle. It's a daily having to kick yourself in the butt. And when you feel like you want to eat chocolate, you just watch an Amber video and think, yeah, this is what I could end up looking like if I continued. And so, it's a you got to work on yourself on the daily and not give in to every craving, and also kick yourself to move a lot, to burn calories, and find interests outside of just eating. Like these two, apparently all they all they ever care about is their next meal, and they never feel full. And I can imagine that's not easy. But having interests, projects you work on where you see progress, and that carries you through life. Or maybe a job. I mean, I don't want to go that far because both of them can't get or hold a job. I mean, they're both a liability for any employer. Plus, they don't have marketable skills, and they have the attention span of a gnat, and can't sit long, can't stand long, can't walk for long. So what do you do with people like that? Let them sit at home, turn on their camera, and see what they can, how much money they can make on YouTube, right?
When I feel like this, I feel like I just want to be passive in life and not fight. And
That's basically what you do, except for when you address your audience, which you probably think are all haters, just like Amber.
just lay down.
But you do that all the time. You lay down and you take naps, you know?
And just not fight.
Then continue to do what you've been doing, and let your body decide when it's time to go.
No, I'm not well mentally right now.
You haven't been.
I just feel really tired of everything, fed up. It's like gonna be so much hard work.
Yeah, they both don't know how to take action steps towards their goals, and that's why they keep turning in circles. So, thinking about it, oh, it's going to be too hard, and then they just give up.
Anyway, that's how I'm feeling. You know?
Okay.
I don't want to come on here all the time and smile and just be fake about it, because
Yeah, being fake is yours and Amber's a problem, biggest problem.
I'm not very happy right now. Even getting mental health help is just overwhelming. Like, I don't even know where to even start. I don't know. I feel like I'm moving in the thickest quicksand ever.
It's probably because your body keeps increasing in size, and your heart and your lungs are having problems keeping up with the extra work, I don't know. What do you say to people like that? I can barely transform this content because they're going back and forth between manic and pretending to be happy and sticking it to the haters, to being their real selves, which is right now sitting in front of us, all depressed and tired, exhausted, unmotivated. That's what happens when you keep stuff in your face and not moving.
I was watching Life by Jen documentary, like a Mr. Snowflake. And I like bawled through the whole documentary on her because I know people think she wasn't a nice person, whatever. We all have moments. We all are sometimes not nice people. But she went through a lot of suffering. Like, she went through a lot of abuse. She went through a lot of suffering.
So did a lot of us out here, and we're not sitting on YouTube selling our lives and, for views, just so that we can continue our addictions. Most of us don't do that.
And unless you have the type of issues with food, eating disorder, food addiction that we have, you can't know the type of hardships. It's like...
That is correct. I give her that. But there are plenty of people, for example, like me, that don't let it get out of control. And there are plenty of people on the internet that I've seen that have made it out of the addiction or have beat the addiction or have it under control to a degree where at least they don't eat themselves to, like, what, her being 400 pounds or more and Amber being over 600 pounds. And everybody, of course, has an opinion. And I believe that there are a lot of people out there that might be skinny, that might be even anorexic, who knows, but that don't have the problem that she has, the need to constantly want to eat and self-medicate with the chemicals in that fast food, like MSG and all that other crap that they feed us. And they should not be saying anything about Foodie Beauty. I don't think so. But I can relate to both of them, to Amber and Chantal. But I've managed to not let it get this far, and that's why it's one of the reasons, one of many reasons why I watch both of them, to see if they ever make it out of the food addiction or get enough control over it to where they're not going to eat themselves to death.
Food is literally... It can be. It's so addictive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's scary because I'm on that path. And people on the internet are just so... In life in general, they're so disgusting towards people with issues like this.
No, there are also people that are very supportive, but when you troll them, like you recently did, you did just this week, and so did Amber. When you troll them, that means you don't take them seriously because you're playing with their emotions by trying to make them believe something that is not true, and then you don't deserve respect. And so then you say things like that. But yeah, if both Amber and Chantal treated their audience better and were being more authentic and not so bitchy and dishonest and smug, then, their audience would react differently to them. So the next one is making my life better with unicity or unicity. I don't like MLMs, and I don't have anything to say about that. I tried them before. What was it, Herbalife or something like that, Slim Fast and all that stuff, but they're so unhealthy. And I get, like, put yourself in her shoes. You weigh a few hundred pounds, you're almost immobile. You just told your audience, and you thought that would get your viewers to come back after being outed, or she outed herself as a pet abuser. What do you do? Now you realize your health problems are so bad that you want to go back to Canada, but the entire time in Kuwait you realized, holy smokes, I can't make over $1,000 anymore. What am I gonna do? So she needs to do, something to get income flowing, but I'm not into it, and I'm not gonna give her a platform for that.
So yeah, I have a new health problem now. It never ends.
I don't know what I did to my back. I hurt my back.
I've been wondering why she hasn't hurt her back yet, because when I saw her walking around in Thailand and walking into the building of the doctor's office, she leans all the way back just to make up for the weight that is pulling her down in the front. And so back problems were to be expected, right?
I think it's sciatica because it runs down my leg and it's in my lower back, like right at the beginning of your hips here. And the only thing that makes it feel really good, actually, stretching does help, yeah. But that initial getting up is like, it's so bad. Sometimes I can't even walk. So I had to get something for it. So now, yeah, that happened to me.
I wouldn't even recommend stretching. Imagine all the weight that's pulling everywhere. If I was her, I'd probably start with going swimming. You know.
I think it's sciatica, but also I think I pulled up my back because I kind of felt a crack when I bent down to grab a case of water.
I try to cut out all the face stuffing in the videos.
Going to go back to Canada to take advantage of the healthcare.
That's probably your best bet. Even though I have a feeling that she's not gonna take advantage of it, but that once she gets there, she falls into old habits.
I was so fed up with like all my addictions.
Not all of them, because the food addiction stuck so badly that you, even though you were so in love with your husband, you still continue to overeat on a daily basis to gain this much weight while being in Kuwait. And I remember my time living in New Mexico with temperatures like 50 degrees Celsius, 122 Fahrenheit. When it's that hot, you don't even think about eating anymore. You have to force yourself to eat, and you can only exist in AC, in air-conditioned environments. And so I lost weight in New Mexico. I don't know how she can not lose weight in Kuwait.
So he referred me to, like, I think that might have been the time that I was referred to outpatient. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. And I'm not going back there to bees in the same way.
Maybe a little. Maybe some of the things you really miss, and if you do them in moderation, they might not be all that bad. Like I recently watched a compilation, and in it she said that she's using she's using the weed, or what was it that she was smoking? The weed and the edibles, the mushrooms. She's using that for depression, and I could see that working. You know, why not?
In fact, I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break when I get there and unwind and settle in.
Yeah, I wish she was able to do that, but I doubt she will be, because both Chantal and Amber are completely hooked on YouTube and on talking into or speaking into a device that makes them feel less alone. Like they know what they're gonna say, what they're gonna record is going to be watched by people, and so I think that's too big of a part of their lives.
Because I want to talk to a doctor about the weight loss surgery process.
Again, I'm not going to play that clip again, what she said in her Cuba rage about weight loss surgery, but she has a long road ahead of her if she's serious about it. Because she was just told by a doctor to not eat certain foods and to move more, and what does she do? We see her in every video stuffing her face, and so she can't stop. It's a big part of her life, and she needs to find something else to replace that with.
And it can take like a year and a half. Sometimes it can take a while, months and months, it depends.
But that's fine though, as long as it extends your lifespan, if you're serious about it.
I might be able to skip the sleep study part because I'm already being treated for sleep apnea, which will...
The sleep study only takes 24 hours, not even 24. It takes one night. I don't know why she brings that up.
Help. Because it's like months in between appointments. And then, you know, I'm nervous that I won't be psychologically ready, so I do want to see a therapist on the side or something. I don't know. I'm going to look into the resources with the Canadian Mental Health Association. Maybe they have something, you know, a program. I'm just going to like basically really not give up. This is going to be my main goal, is to get healthy, you know, and
If you're not lying right now, I think that's good.
nothing is happening to the relationship with Salah and I.
Because there was never a relationship. I strongly doubt it. It didn't come off as a relationship. You had no chemistry whatsoever. He sounds like a robot when he talks to you. When he touches you, it looks like it's like some random guy from the street that you gave $20 to touch your shoulder or something. I mean, I have a more heartfelt relationship with most of my colleagues at work. You know, we have more chemistry than she did with Salah. So the next one is the best makeup tutorial in history, which of course was BS, because she said that this is not a tutorial at all. She admitted that she doesn't know what she's doing. I wouldn't apply makeup that way, and she doesn't seem like she looks like she knows what she's doing. And also she put on mascara on her eyebrows. I mean, that was the highlight, holy smokes. And of course it looked almost like Amberlynn Reid when she put on her clown makeup, when she overdoes it with the eyebrows. And so yeah, not worth mentioning there. The next one is I lied about my weigh-in. That of course is the complete troll video that I told you. I don't believe it, that she was faking the weigh-in, and so that was just her trolling. And so I'm not gonna react to that. So on to the next one. What I ate today, binge-free day. I don't get why she's still putting binge in the title, and if that is legit, because both her and Amber went off the binge eating disorder track, probably because of the changes in terms of service on YouTube. And so all of a sudden, Chantal, they're both kind of dense. I mean, let's face it, they can't remember things, and so she puts it in the title again.
Tidying up the spare room, sweeping, and doing some dishes.
That's good. So she's taking care of her household to a degree where she has to mention it in her videos. I mean, if you ain't got no content, I might as well talk about that. That's probably why Amber does it. Even though in her case here, in Chantal's case, I even believe it to a certain degree, but in Amber's case, I don't.
And now I'm going to start my day with this Unimate. All right, I'm getting ready to
Still trying to push the MLM products.
make my first meal of the day.
Sorry.
Okay, before she says anything, the right eye is alarming to me. And I pulled it up closer, and I was wondering if she had blown a pupil, because as you guys know, I've been watching House MD. Not binge watching, because I only watch it here and there when I can. But a blown pupil is not a good sign. But it doesn't appear that her pupil is blown, but that her filter is messing up in some kind of way. Because if you look at the right eye, looking at it from our view, right? If you look at the right eye, the color is not so pronounced, the contrast is not so intense, and on the left eye it is. And so I assume it's one of her filters messing up. But it looks strange. I mean, I love David Bowie, but he had a blown pupil. because of an accident he had an earlier, not accident, actually a fight, but hey, you know, it's not like it's unattractive. It just looks strange because we're used to her looking differently.
I'm happy to.
And both Amber and Chantal claim to edit their videos, and so why does this not stick out to her? You know, why did she not make a remark about that or put some kind of caption on the screen saying, yeah, I know my right eye looks weird.
See you guys, but I'm tired of the internet right now.
She's tired of the internet right now. I think they both are. That's why Amber has not been posting all that much. I thought that, and I told you guys, I had a feeling that from going from recent years, she's not going to pass up the chance of putting out all kinds of crap content and raking in that holiday money. But both of them seem tired and exhausted and defeated. And at the end of their rope, you know, if you look at how they've been gaining weight and their bodies won't let them move anymore, and their mental health is rotten and they can't come up with original thoughts anymore. They steal content from or copy content from another, and what can you say?
I'm having soba and I'm having beef because I haven't had beef since the doctor told me not to.
That is another significant statement, you know. He tells her not to have it, she has it.
And I'm like, whatever, I'm rebelling today because...
Yeah, that should be your middle name.
You know, I'm hungry for it. I'm trying to, like, do a massive clean and organization before I head to Canada because, like...
Because I believe that they're gonna move out of that place. I mean, she's gonna go to Canada and he's gonna move out because that relationship is kind of done. Or that business deal, you know, maybe they had a business deal and she said, I'm gonna throw, like while she was still in Canada, she said, I'm gonna throw money at you for pretending to be my boyfriend and then husband. And we live with each other because I don't think he lives there anymore. We haven't seen him since the doctor's appointment. And so it's a similar situation like it was with Amber and Wipey. And we didn't hear of Wipey anymore. I mean, she only came over to drop off the deliveries from the P.O. box and probably help walking Twinkie and stuff like that. And it appears to be the same with Chantal and Salah now. So I'm thinking she's getting ready to just clean the place, you know, get rid of everything personal, pack her suitcases, and head to the airport.
I need to leave the house in like a state where I feel comfortable leaving. And Salah's a grown adult, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. You know, when you come back, you'll see this house transform. Don't
doubt it.
Worry about it." Just washing everything. I washed. I'm glad I'm taking the Unimate. Honestly, it's working with energy levels.
I get why she's pushing it. To me, it's cringy, but she, you know, she's trying to establish some side income. And if some people, you know, are her fans, her followers, and they say, hey, if she tries it or just to support her, I'm going to try it so that they get a couple of dollars, you know, for referring us, you know, why not?
I don't nap anymore. I used to sleep a lot and take naps. Like, I couldn't function without taking naps. You know, at one point, even Salah was like, you're gonna sleep again?
Yeah, but she kind of did, because a few videos ago, and I'm talking about it in this video, these women sleep too much during the day. And, you know, and then they talk about insomnia or fixing their sleep schedules. I mean, if you push yourself not to take naps during the day, then you're going to be able to sleep at night. Of course, you also have to push yourself physically, you know, to get the juices flowing, to get, you know, the body to a point where it says, okay, now I'm done for today. Let's lay down and let's get some rest. Sorry, I forgot to cut that out. I didn't mean to put any of her eating in here. But I think the reason behind it is because I wanted to point out if anybody ever ate like that in front of me at a restaurant, I would get up without even telling them why. Because she eats like an animal. It's just disgusting.
And I noticed that. Like, I don't need to take naps. I actually, like, my oven needed to be cleaned. I was baking something and it all spilled over when I made my pot pie.
So you don't clean that right away, or the next day you wait for a deep cleaning session like this one? That's disgusting.
I clean the oven, the elements. I hate cleaning those grate things inside the oven.
The gray things? What is she talking about? The grills? The trays? What? The gray things? Or at the bottom? The ones that heat up? I don't know what she's talking about.
The fridge, the freezer, the air fryer, the microwave. Did you know that your washer and dryer have these like filter things you have to clean?
It is so strange that now she mentions it after Amber just figured it out. Makes me believe that Pete did her laundry for her, and Salah, and in Amber's case, Wipey and Becky and Destiny, and why are they? She's 39, I think, and Amber's gonna be 33 in a couple of weeks. Why do they just now figure out these things? Strange.
Like once a month.
Not once a month. Dryer, the lint trap you clean out after every load. I mean, I do. If I had one here. In the States, I had a dryer. Here, I hang up my clothes. But I cleaned the lint trap after every load. Dude.
I'm still, I have some time. I'm starting now because I don't want to be stuck with it last minute like I was in Canada. I'm so afraid of being like I was in Canada. Ill-prepared, messy. My life was a mess. My home was a mess. I'm so afraid of becoming like that again. Because I didn't like being like that. People think that people have messy homes or hoard or become hoarders because they love living in filth. No.
But see, what you do is you push yourself. Like you can't say it doesn't bother you because apparently it did bother you. But if it had bothered you, then maybe you would have done what I do often. I don't feel like I hate cleaning, but I love organizing. And so when I have to start looking for things, I'm like, okay, enough of that. I turn off my computer, I put my Bluetooth earbuds in, and I listen to some really upbeat music. And then I do what needs to be done, And you don't like she did in the villa. Like I recently watched a few clips of that. During her worst time when she was constantly high and the whole drama with Dom and these clothes on the floor. I mean, how did she never get her foot stuck in one of those pieces of clothing and trip and fall? That would drive me up the wall. There can't be anything on the floor. And it didn't bother her enough to pick it up, so I don't know.Maybe she's wrong here right now.
I was barely able to function. And I don't feel my heart race. I don't feel like that like you would get when you're drinking an espresso. It's just like a subtle energy.
But with her, it seemed like her blood pressure was normal at the doctor's office, but I could see her having high blood pressure. I don't know, maybe she sat out there in the waiting room long enough for it to go down. But I think she must have high blood pressure, and so I wouldn't do any kind of energy drinks. I mean, I feel bad. And I'm still in the normal range of blood pressure, but the higher regions of the normal range of blood pressure. And I drink coffee every day, and I feel very bad about it. But these women should not be drinking caffeinated drinks anymore.
And I did all the floors. I did a lot of cleaning, and it was, for someone like me, it was a lot of housework. If you look it up, rigorous housework is good exercise. I cleaned my floors 3 times, especially the kitchen.
Why would you have to do it 3 times, though? I do not understand.
I pour boiled hot water with vinegar all over the floor. Then I take this like stick thing that I have a drain in my kitchen floor. I love it.
I love that too. They don't have that in Germany.
Then I fill the mop bucket with Dettol and dish soap, mop it. Then I put like hot boiling water all over the floor and I rinse it,
I don't get why she had to do it 3 times though.
you know? So, yeah. Like I said, I'm just paranoid at this point to become like my old self when it comes to a clean home.
But why be paranoid about it? It's all in your head. You make the decisions. If you decide not to become like that anymore, then there's a good chance you won't become like that anymore.
That was not a very mentally healthy spot in my life, and it traumatized me a bit. Kind of like when people get weight loss surgery and they lose a bunch of weight and they actually become the opposite. They actually develop anorexia or some kind of eating disorder.
There's no chance of that happening to you.
The opposite of obesity, they become underweight because they're so afraid to put weight back on.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen to Amber or her.
I'm like that with cleaning right now.
Yeah, why all that cleaning? I think she's getting ready to leave and never come back to that place. Like, even if she ever returned to Kuwait, they're not gonna live there, I'm pretty sure. I can't tell you why though, it's just a feeling.
I used to just like semi-hoard. I would hoard stuff. I could say I was like a hoarder. I love having dinner and just talking. I have no friends.
No, you don't, because you treat people like shit, just like Amber does.
I'm getting ready to go to Canada, and I'm gonna clean my home, organize things.
Yeah, and she already mentioned that that with the weight loss surgery might take months, or I don't think she's planning on coming back. And why is that's also strange. Like, maybe you guys know more about this. You know, I'm not totally into Chantal. I only watch her here and there. Why is it that Salah is not coming with her? Is there a reason for that? I don't know.
I'm not saying exactly when I'm going, but
Probably before Christmas.
you know, I'm sure you guys can imagine in the near future I wouldn't have announced it, but
Yeah, I think Salah's done with her. And she needs to get out of there, because that business deal or a business contract or that relationship has run its course.
there's a lot of healthcare I need to get. One thing in particular is hormone replacement therapy. I used to be on
Hormone replacement therapy. Somebody told me to mention that in my next video about Amber, so that maybe Amber hears it. I'm gonna mention it, but it's weird that after I got that comment asking me to say it in an Amber video, now Chantal is mentioning it.
estradiol patch. I'm gonna stop taking it.
Yeah, they stopped taking a lot of things that would benefit them.
Um,
Except for the unhealthy foods.
and I need to get my bone density, because when you go through menopause at a young age, it can affect your bone density. So they wanted me to have a scan before, and I just never went, because that was another part of like not taking care of myself, was I would not go to my appointments.
Okay, but then what does that do to have your bone density measured? Are there dietary supplements you can take to increase your bone density? I doubt it. Never heard of that before.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Okay, and here's a community post that she posted yesterday, and it's already gone, so I'm gonna share that with you really quick. She says, I've notified my family to make all of their social media private. To the ones making content using their social media, you are bored and gross and obsessed. Get a life, log off, effing weirdos. I'm also taking a break from YouTube. I hope she does. I hope both her and Amber do that. I'm not in Canada yet, and you won't know because I'm not making content for a while. Trash people, I swear. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just being mean now. So she's not going to make content for a while. Good. I appreciate that. Um, and I believe she's on her way there. You know, because all that cleaning she wouldn't have done if it hadn't been necessary. And so I'm thinking she's on the way there. And I hope she's going to take some time off. Because just eating and talking, you know, shit on her channel is probably not gonna cut it. Maybe she can find her way back to some kind of, you know, content where she drives around, where maybe she drops the hijab because that is not doing her any favors. It seems to me like she's wearing it as a costume and there was no religious belief behind it that made her wear it. Maybe she did it to please Salah. I'm not sure, but I hope she's gonna drop that whole act and you know, become more relatable, more authentic again. Maybe not go off the rails when it comes to drugs and alcohol and changing sex partners. I mean, you know, that was way out of control. But I hope some of what she just told us is true and she's actually worried about her health and she's going to Canada to actually get professional help. I doubt it because, again, it is in the middle of December. She's trying to, you know, make that holiday coin, and so I'm taking everything she says with a grain of salt, but I hope for her sake that some of what she said is true. All right, that's it for me. I'm almost at an hour. Holy smokes. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.